Quiet on set. Picture is up. All right, roll sound.
Rolling.
Roll cameras.
Cam's rolling.
And 3, 2.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Hank's Think Tank, back at it again. I've got the fire chief in here from the East County Fire Department, ESD 7. His name is Howard Rinewalt. He's a good guy. If you don't know him, now's your opportunity. Good afternoon, Howard. How's it going?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. So you guys got hit by a tornado and Station 154 got torn up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, man. Tornadoes are crazy. Really, the warning system's great, but there's not much warning. So the guys were at the station, and they were getting prepared to run some calls because of the weather coming through, and they got a tornado warning on their phone, and then the next thing they know, they seen the tornado across the street, and they were videoing it, and they thought they were going to get missed, and it kind of just turned and came towards them. So once it did that, they ran and took cover, and I mean, it sucked the bay doors off the station and ripped the roof up, and they were bunkered down in the shower and waited for it to pass over. So it tore the station up pretty good.
So would you say it's a total loss, or I mean close to it, or?
No, I don't think so. The structural portion of the building is going to be in good shape, I believe. We have an engineer that's coming today, actually. We're going to meet with an engineer today, and he'll make the final decision. But it sounded like they're going to be able to remodel it as opposed to rebuild it.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's a good thing.
yeah, it's a
So
great
it blew
thing.
out the bay doors. What about windows and stuff like that?
There's not a window left in the building. So
It
it's
broke
crazy.
all the glass.
You know, one bay door went in and one came out, so you kind of see the twisting effect of the tornado. But every window was blown out of the building.
Wow. And it didn't damage any of the interior walls or any of that kind of stuff? that you
No,
know?
they're all good. I think the biggest problem is going to be water damage. So
Yeah.
they'll probably have to strip all of that out and start over because of the water damage, because it was soaking wet in there.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, because I guess it just blew all that rain in.
Yeah, I mean, it took the windows
Yeah.
out, and then the wind was just forcing I mean, it's sideways rain, you know?
Yeah. So any damage outside? Anything at all?
Oh, yeah. The guys had their trucks parked near an awning. They got ripped off the building and landed on their trucks. All their trucks are completely totaled. We had a trailer in the back, a cargo trailer, that it was lifted up and thrown over some pine trees into the neighbor's yard. And
Wow.
it tore a lot of stuff up, but I
Yeah.
think we fared well, and you know, my prayers go out to the people around us, because there's some people that did not fare so well. So
Yeah, there were some mobile homes that were turned over and stuff like
man,
that
it's
out there.
terrible.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy to have tornadoes in December.
yeah.
I mean, what the heck is going on?
Man, I really don't know. I wish I was a weatherman, because we were told there was going to be a freeze last week, and we upstaffed the station, and then nothing happened. So
Yeah.
we'll see about this week.
Well, I think it's coming this week. So they're
Yeah.
predicting snow now, I think Monday night and Tuesday. So we'll see.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
we're going to be ready. We're upstaffing again for that freeze, but it's just you just have to be prepared and hope nothing happens.
yeah, there you go. So 154 is still open, though. The guys are still running calls and all that. None of your apparatus got damaged or?
No, we were very lucky. We had one booster that the bay door blew in on and damaged the hood. We sent it to get some bodywork repairs done to it. So
Okay.
that'll be fine. But the large apparatus, no damage at all. Matter
Great.
of fact, when the tornado passed them, they came out from the shower and got on the truck and started running calls in it. So,
Man.
no, we never shut the station down. We had Montgomery County OEM and Set Track. I mean, within 30 minutes, had a RV camper parked in the parking lot with restrooms, and the guys were able to stay in there and run calls out of there. And
The guys, nobody was injured at the station, right?
no,
Yeah, no injuries and stuff. Well, that's really good. And yeah, that tornado did some damage in the neighborhood around it. I did get an opportunity to roll through there and check it out, and I was really surprised. You can look at the forest and literally see the path that the tornado took, because it just took everything out.
oh yeah, it was a straight line. But the benefit to the tornado versus a hurricane is a hurricane's such a widespread event. So when we established the area command post at the fire station, between us and Porter, we were able to really hone in on where the areas were affected and the emergencies were,
Yeah.
as opposed to a hurricane where, we're so spread out that between us and Porter and.
Now, I didn't hear of any injuries or deaths in the area. Were there any?
No, there were some injuries. We transported several people to the hospital, but no deaths.
Nothing bad though, huh?
No, nothing crazy.
Wow, that's really something. And for it to come during the day, because these kind of things usually happen at night.
Right.
So that was weird. It was in the morning.
Well, see, and that's another blessing
Freaking
too, is because
crazy.
at nighttime you can't see anything. So
Yeah.
I cannot, imagine the fear in these people when they get hit in the middle of the night and you just
I know.
you can't see anything. So.
Yeah, you just get woke up out of bed to the sound of a freight train coming
Right.
through your living room.
Especially with the way the guys at the station expressed. It terrified them, and
And it was during the day. Yeah.
Yeah, they're supposed to be big bad firemen. So I can only imagine somebody, at home with your children and your family, and you're trying to protect them, can't make a decision. I talked to one guy that said, he heard it coming through and it sounded just like a freight train, and he put his family in the bathroom and shut the door, but then he didn't know what to do, whether to stay out and see if anything happened, or be able to pull them out if the house collapsed. He's like, I was completely lost. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. So I couldn't imagine. Terrible situation.
Yeah, it's really bad. Any ideas how long it might take to get that fire station back up and rolling again?
Oh, I'm thinking about 6 months is probably going to be the time frame. So
Wow.
we
And it's still relatively new, isn't it? Only a couple of years old?
Yeah, it's only a couple of years old. We just built it. We built it prior to the one at, on Roman Forest. So, it's very, very new fire station.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you said that the warning system was pretty good, but I kind of think that the warning system failed me a little bit. I was home at the time, and I was watching TV, and they showed a map with like that little rotational thing with the triangles that are going around in a circle. They said, okay, well, there it is, and it's heading this way, and they showed all these roads, but none of them were marked on the map.
Right.
They're just saying, if you're in Splendora, take shelter now. And I'm like, okay, so I'm looking at that map, trying to figure out, is that coming toward me or not?
Right.
Then I started running around the house looking out of every window going, okay, if things out there, I should be able to see it.
Right.
And I didn't see it. And then time goes by and it changes on the map, and the map changed a little bit. And I thought, that didn't look like anywhere around here. So I told my wife, I said, I think we're good. And then right after that's when the call came through that 154 got hit. And I was like, man.
Did you get the text on your phone?
I did not get a text.
Okay,
on my phone.
that was the warning system I was talking about. Is
okay.
The guys, I didn't get it either, but the guys at the station said, "Hey, man, we got a text on the phone said take shelter now," and then they were like within 10 minutes that the thing was hitting. So it wasn't.
I wonder who runs that. Montgomery County OEM, you think?
Montgomery County OEM sends some stuff out. You could sign up through Montgomery County OEM for some of those warning things, but I'm not sure who sends that one out.
Okay.
I don't even think I have the option on my phone.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It, so
Yeah, I don't know if I've got it or not because I've never gotten one.
Yeah.
So, well, I know you guys have been doing a lot lately. I've seen a lot of the things that you're putting together. I know y'all did a big Halloween thing at the station, and then you did a big Christmas thing at the station. So you seem to be pretty involved in the community.
Right. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's just I think that we have to get out there and really make relationship with the people we're serving, because the community's ever changing, and you got to keep up with the younger generation coming out too. So
Sure.
or coming up in the community as well. So. I think we're going to end up bringing the chili dinner back that we used to have. I remember,
Chili's cool.
Yeah, and it was awesome too because everyone came. So
Yeah.
you got to talk to people you didn't see for a year. So everybody showed up. But I just think, man, the impact to the community of getting to know them and letting them get to know us is just a massive deal. And
Smart.
so,
Yeah, I think it's something that does need to happen. The police stations and stuff ought to do the same thing. You just don't get a whole lot of that out of them, but
right.
I guess they're pretty busy too.
Yeah.
But it's good of you to take the time out and get the fire guys involved and make all that kind of thing happen. That's a great deal.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think we have to, man. We're the neighborhood fire department, so
Yeah.
might as well get to know the neighborhood.
Yeah, sounds good. So anything coming up in the immediate future for ESD7?
Well, we were looking at doing that chili dinner again in February, but this tornado kind of, man, it put a delay on everything, trying to get that station done, dealing with the insurance company, just getting them into a more permanent situation instead of the camper, which we're very thankful for the camper, but it's just it's not going to be great for 3 grown men and women to be in full time, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
Right now we're just working on trying to get that station back up, so it kind of delayed some plans. So we're putting that chili dinner off for another year, but probably February of next year we'll do the chili dinner.
Okay. And I know that a lot of the members of the community came out to help and assist with the whole fire department thing. So
yeah, I did.
That was great.
I actually put a list together. And
Okay.
I hope I don't forget anybody. If I do, I'm sorry. But
well, if you do, we'll make sure and get it in the comments or down in the description. But
I'm sure someone will remind me. But
yeah,
I really want to just go through this list and thank all of these people, because I don't think we would have started responding 24 hours a day in the same day that the tornado hit out of that station. We would have had to move that crew if it wasn't for these people. But Buster Brown Propane, Studio 13, Precinct 4 commissioners, every time you think, okay, the constables the Precinct 4 constables, you think the constables are around to arrest bad guys and take care of crime, but man, those guys do that, and then when a hurricane hits or a tornado hits or a windstorm hits,
they're out.
They pop up for that too. And then they've got crews put together that are special response teams that respond to these types of situations.
Yeah, they got swift water rescue guys and everything.
Well, and then those guys come in, and the guys that are on the beat, they stay on the street and don't have to. They're not taken from one to provide the other. And it blows me away. So
smart management.
Thankful for those guys as well. Also, Precinct 4 commissioners. Matt Gray had his people out there, and he was out there as well, clearing those streets out. It was crazy because, you think, okay, well, we get dispatched to a call, we're going to respond to the call and take care of the call, but then you can't even get to the call because the roads are just covered with trees and everything else.
Power lines,
He was out there so quick clearing those roads up, so big thank you to him.
Matt Gray doesn't miss a beat.
Man, he doesn't, man.
Yeah.
He's I talked to him today. I talk to him about every 2 days. But he really blows me away with how good he is. I talk to him mainly just, mainly a mentorship type thing. It's huge for me to be able to talk to somebody like that and get ideas from them. And I think it's big too for somebody not in the fire service to get a management opinion from somebody not in the fire service, because firemen, we're a tight knit group, so sometimes it's just it's good for me to bounce ideas off other people. And he's a great one, and I really respect him.
Good.
EMC Plumbing came out and the water well piping that ran into the ground and then connected to the tank on the water well completely ripped out of the ground. So
wow,
they got that back
up
and running for us.
Did it rip the whole well out and everything?
No, it was crazy. It ripped all the plumbing out and the piping out of the ground, but everything else was there and fine. Huh. There was 2 things that really didn't get any, like you could have looked at it and thought, okay, nothing happened here. And it was that propane tank from Buster Brown and that water well tank that was back there. Neither one of those things even budged, but so.
Okay, I thought I saw in one of the pictures that the propane tank got moved, but I guess not.
It just moved, but it was still in the same location, connected. I mean,
yeah, those things are pretty heavy, man.
It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's cool.
Triple H Electric, they got the power back to the building so we could secure it and getting some bay doors up with Griffin's bay door.
Okay.
Just to resecure that building, because there's a big issue with people trying to get in those buildings after.
Oh, I'm sure. And, that's too bad too. Yeah.
They're also going to run the power to the trailer house we have over there that we're going to be running out of.
Okay.
ACT Septic Solutions pumped out the septic tank so we could hook it to the trailer. Really, and cleared out all of the storm debris. He brought a skid steer over and cleared out all the storm debris. And
wow.
So huge thanks to him. Dolly Property Works came in and done the pad for the trailer. Seal and Sons Trucking out of Splendora, they come in. They brought all of the select fill and everything for that pad.
Mm-hmm.
And a big shout out to Clayton Mobile Homes and Porter, Chip over at Clayton Mobile Homes, because they got us in that more permanent structure, the trailer, and it's already on site within, I think it was like 5 days. Everything.
Yeah, it all happened pretty quick.
So fast. I was blown away. Of course, Montgomery County OEM for getting us to where we could run out of that station in the same day that the tornado hit. Massive help from them.
Yeah, Jason Millsap's down there. He can do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot at his disposal that he can attack to. So
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Yeah.
They had us up and running that same day. So, LBC Construction and Greater Texas Home Builders, they showed up after the trailer was there and offered their services, and they built the porches and the skirting on the trailer for free. They just wanted to help. So, huge thanks to those guys too.
That's it.
That's all I can remember. But
where do you hear about all that kind of stuff? What communities?
I mean,
at least in my experience, I don't know of many, but every time something happens, especially in East County, it's almost like everybody comes out and says, "All right, what do you need?"
Man, it's crazy because I look at that mainly Pickering. I seen it there more than anywhere I've ever seen it, but down Pickering is like those people were over there cleaning up the debris and stuff that following day. The business that blew building, I think it's a mechanic shop there at the corner of Pickering and 1485. Those guys came out and set up to serve food to all of the people that lived down there that were working. So they just, posted on Facebook, "Hey, if you're in here working, we're serving hamburgers at noon."
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, this community really blows me away with how they do that. You go back to Harvey. We did not have enough resources to handle Harvey.
Right.
And you had people showing up with bass boats, John boats, air boats,
Yeah.
And I can't believe I forgot, but Slinky Knox, every single time he pops up like the constables do.
Oh yeah.
And we could not do it without the community and some of these businesses and OEM and all of these people I mentioned. We couldn't. There's no way we could.
Slinky's almost like a magician, you know it?
No,
I mean he really is.
He's one of a kind, man. You're right. He's one of a kind.
He's almost like a magician. It's like you're like, where the hell? How'd you come up with that?
Yeah.
He's pretty cool too.
That guy literally loses money during these disasters because he could be out towing vehicles that are getting flooded and stranded. Yeah. But he's in an airboat running around trying to save people. So.
Community people, man.
Yes, sir.
They actually care about each other.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm telling you, that kind of thing is really hard to find. That's one of the things I've always been proud about East County for. Is that we stick together. We take care of our own. That's what we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So cool. Well, man, I'm glad you're doing all right. I want to talk a little bit before we go. I want to make sure we touch upon this freeze we're getting ready to have. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's not. So, what can people do to protect their pipes in their house? And it's the 3 P's, right? It's pipes, plants, and pets.
Correct.
So, let's just talk a little bit about what we should do, and even fire protection during those times because everybody's trying to warm up.
Right. Yeah. That and that was a big. I mean, from my perspective in the business I'm in, the last big freeze that came through is, I don't know, I think we ran 15, 20 house fires during that freeze, just in that span, and every single one of them were people trying to stay warm. So,
what mistakes are they making? I mean, as a general rule, are people bringing propane heaters in the house or what? What's going on?
I would not do that, but no, that wasn't one of them. The biggest thing, like we kept running, was people trying to start fires in their fireplaces, but their flues would be closed, or one of them, they started a fire in the fireplace that was put in there, but somebody put it in there and didn't exhaust it outside of the attic, so it was just.
Really?
Yeah, it was just stuff like that, man. I mean,
wow,
really.
So it's just filling up the attic with smoke and sparks and everything. That's crazy.
Yeah, you got to think once that smoke builds up and starts building up in that attic and gets to a certain temperature, but it's not exhausting anywhere, it becomes combustible too, so it ignites. So,
man.
I mean, the pipes, just, wrapping your pipes, and, it's always a good idea too, if you're not going to have to use the water, is drain it. To shut the water off and drain the system and let it be dry while the freeze happens. So.
Yeah, that's what I did during that big freeze in 21, and it saved us, I think.
Right.
So, what I did was I turned off the water, and I opened up every valve in the house and let it all drain, and left it that way.
100%.
Let it all drain out. And then we had, prior to that, filled up our bathtubs to use just to flush toilets. And that worked out real well. I mean, we were only super cold for a day or two.
Right.
But, nothing popped in the house. I did have the pipe that comes out of the ground and goes to that first valve where I turned it off. That froze. It didn't break, but it froze, and it was wrapped. That's how cold it was.
Yeah, see, that's the biggest thing is wrapping it. A lot of those, A lot of what I seen was that pipe you're talking about coming in and supplying the house.
Yeah.
It wasn't wrapped and that busted. So,
Oh yeah.
People's attics, the pipes in their attics. So that's
Yeah.
the issue with. Oh, I'll just wrap this outside pipe, and then the freeze happens, but nothing got wrapped inside the attic, and
Yeah.
insulation wasn't covering it, and those
Yeah.
freeze bust, and then when the freeze goes away, your whole house gets flooded. So.
Yeah. And it does help to not run the water, but just let it drip in your house because
Yeah.
it just keeps it moving through
Right.
and prevents it from freezing up too bad.
Correct. Yeah,
So-
moving water is a little harder to freeze. So
Yeah.
it's the same concept as, the switches on the swimming pools. When it gets to a certain temperature, they turn on, that pump will start running and keep the
Yeah.
water moving. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing to do.
Yep.
And then all the plants need to come in that you want to keep because they're going to get
wrap them
killed.
or bring them in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's definitely a good suggestion if
Yeah.
you want to keep your plants.
We even had palm trees that died during the 21 freeze. Big palm
Oh yeah, I would
trees.
imagine they're
Yeah.
not built for that type of weather.
Yeah, it's crazy
They're
because
like you and I. They're not made for that.
and the thing about it is I knew they were dead, but I didn't think that they'd collapse on me.
Mhm.
And within 3 months, I came home one day and one of them was folded over. I
Right.
was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And you can't cut those things because they're just full of fibers. Yeah, so I'll never plant another one of those again.
Yeah.
They're a nightmare to get rid of. And then the pets need to come in, at least in the garage or something like that, and keep them as warm as possible, put
Yep.
something down.
Yep.
So that's
Bring it. I mean, you wouldn't want to stay outside. So.
Yeah, that's the humane thing to do.
Correct. Yeah, I'd say too is just a reminder. I mean, every time you change your clocks, you should check the batteries in your smoke detector. But just coming up with this freeze and trying to stay warm, and you never know what could happen, is making sure your smoke
Yeah.
detectors are working. If you don't have working smoke detectors, or you don't have smoke detectors at all, you can contact the fire station, and we'll come out and install some smoke detectors for you.
Okay. Will y'all check them too in case there's elderly people
check
or whatever?
'em.
That
That's
can't
our
check 'em?
first line of defense. The best way we could save somebody is make sure they have a working smoke detector, because
Yeah.
that's gonna spring into action long before we can. So
Yeah.
we'll check them, make sure they work. We'll install them if you don't have them. We don't
Yeah.
charge you for it. So
Are there any smoke detectors out there that actually call 911 or call the fire department?
there's alarm systems that you can hook up with smoke detectors built into the system that.
Mhm.
Will once they activate, will notify an off-site. But that's what, to do that, you'd have to do a monitored phone line and all of that. So
Yeah. I just wondered if the technology had picked up on that.
yeah,
with-
commercial
yeah.
buildings have it. We run smoke alarms all the time in commercial buildings that are monitored.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And then might as well get into it because y'all do wrecks as well. So, I mean,
right,
everybody's going to have to be really careful on the roads, avoid going
would-
fast over
yeah.
the bridges. And,
stay off the roads. I mean,
Yeah.
the best advice is
yeah.
we have no idea how to drive in that type of event. I figured that out the last one. I think I
Yeah.
ended up in 3 ditches. So
Yeah.
once
You
you
can't
get
tell by
sliding, you
looking.
can't stop.
Yeah, and you can't tell by looking. You can't see it.
You can't
You know?
stop once you start sliding.
Yeah,
So.
that's for sure. All right. Nothing else coming up in the near future for ESD7?
My main focus right now is trying to get that fire station back fully operational
I get
and
it.
running. So that's
Okay.
that's where we are right now.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to reach out to one of the fire guys that was in that tornado and get him on the show just to tell the story.
Absolutely.
Because I think it's kind of important that people know what to expect. I mean, you never know when another tornado is going to roll through here.
yeah,
I'd like to know what to expect at least.
absolutely.
What it felt like, what it sounded like, and yeah. So
Who better to talk to than somebody that went through one?
yeah, I guess so. So that's one thing I'm going to do. But thanks for coming out and giving us an update, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, and again, another thank you to that whole list of people. It's just it amazes me how they step up every single time. And
That's East County
yeah.
for you.
your fire department wouldn't be as good without the community support that we receive.
Yeah, but y'all still kick ass anyway. So
We'd still be good. We are
Yeah.
good, but we wouldn't be as good without the community support.
there you go.
So
All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Chief Howard Rinewalt. He is with the East County Fire Department, and the main station is over there on 1485 West, just about a mile or two, I guess, west of 59 on the left-hand side. So if you get a chance, go down there and check it out. You guys own that building. It's paid for by tax money. So you can go up there anytime you want, take a tour. The fire guys will be more than happy to show you around, let you take a look at the apparatus and look at the items that you have paid for. And they're a bunch of nice guys anyway, and they'll be more than happy to inform you on what you can do to protect your home, and around your home and your property and stuff like that. These are smart guys, great to talk to, and I always have a good time every time I go over there anyway. I'm Hank Vatt. This is Hank's Think Tank, and we'll catch you in the next one. And trust me, it won't be long. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Howard.
Absolutely.
All right, man.